Infidelity is never good. It is devastating, and it is one of the most traumatic things you can ever walk through because it hurts so many things.
The affair was not the medicine. The affair was the diagnosis. The medicine was what happened afterward. It's like somebody confusing the earthquake with the rebuilding. The earthquake was not a gift. The rebuilding was. That's marriage post-betrayal and loss. What actually changed our marriage wasn't betrayal. It's what betrayal forced us to finally do.
When you run from the truth of what you have and keep doing nothing about it, it's like hitting the snooze button every morning.
That is the tax of lying and cheating that I don't see talked about enough.
Anything you're not honest about is a vote towards hurting your marriage.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is where freedom lives. Welcome to Lights On. Laura Lentz, the host, with me, the co-host, Carl Lentz. My love, I'm going to tell you all this right now. Welcome. Glad you're here. Friend, if you are brand new to the Lights On podcast, we are so glad to have you. We love doing this pod to where we talk about real life, real things. I'm going to tell you right now, though, Laura Lentz is on one today, y'all. Very persnickety, okay? She's about that business today. Why are you so persnickety?
I'm just a mom that has a lot going on in my head right now.
That's fair.
And,
you know, fair.
You've been making noises and like doing like
That's
gym stuff and like just a lot. And now you're standing for this
is true.
podcast.
And you know what, y'all? That's right. If you're listening just audio only, if you're watching on our YouTube, by the way, subscribe, talk to us. We love it. Thank you for that. I'm standing because I like Pat McAfee. He stands. I don't know why I'm qualifying this, but I feel better standing. I never preached a single sermon in my life from a chair. And after doing 2 years of sitting down talking, I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm a stander.
You're a stand-up?
Do you know what I was thinking today, though? The emotional tax of dropping your daughter off at life.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody told me about it.
Yep.
So
she left the nest.
Ava's 22, graduated from college. She has started her new life. And I dropped her off at in the world's greatest city, New York. And I realized as I did it, I was like, this is different than the first day of school. Yeah. This is different than high school. This is different than college. Like, this is weird. So I've been reeling from that.
You have.
I've been in an emotional cyclone. All good. It's just like, she's gone into the world.
She might come back.
Pray for me, y'all. Nest.
She loves it.
She does. She's
ready.
In
her element.
She's ready. Yeah, but all the young dads out there, I love you. I talk to you guys often. You can always email us, DM us. I talk to a lot of people who DM Laura or myself, and it's awesome. So you never know. If we see it, we respond immediately. But I'm talking to a lot of young dads just about trying to be less hard on yourself because you're trying to be this epic dad, and just be a present one while you're growing. Because, man, the day comes where your daughter goes, see you, Dad, and they go off into like a city, and you're like, oh, it's just a great thing to just remind yourself. Every young dad listening, this isn't part of the pod, you're doing way better than you think you are. Are you showing up? Are you consistent? Are you trying? Forget about the rest. That's what you build on, and you're going to build some healthy kids today.
Say be consistent.
Be consistent.
That's
that is
the best.
Key. It's the key to a lot in life.
It is.
We're going to get into something awesome today. We're going to answer a question that we get a lot.
Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. It's my Texas Rangers hat. Shout out to my guy Doug Pennick, the Hat Club, Las Vegas.
Yeah, you got to show that side because it's cool. Their little logo.
Yeah, it's got a lot of cool stuff. I'd like to stay focused on what I'm doing here, but that's fine. Shout out to Doug. Thank you, my guy.
Yeah, Doug.
I love it. Here's the question. And it opens up a very cool conversation. But this could be one of the clearest things we've talked about. And you can email us at
hello@carlandlaura.com.
Okay. This is one we get. And I have not addressed it because, there's a lot to talk about. But I hear it enough. And I'm on TikTok now enough to know these funky algorithms. And here's the question. You often hear, this is what someone said, Carl and Laura, you often hear couples that go through betrayal and infidelity say, infidelity was really the best thing that ever happened to our marriage. Is that true? When people say that, is there truth to it? We're going to tell you exactly what we think about this question and the conversation around it right here on the Lights On pod.
Yeah, today we're talking about something people say all the time, and you've probably heard it. We went through infidelity, and honestly, our marriage is better than ever. And every time we hear that, we understand exactly what they're trying to say and what they're trying to communicate. But I also think it can be misunderstood because I want to be very clear from the beginning. Infidelity is never good. It is devastating, and it is one of the most traumatic things you can ever walk through because it hurts so many things. And it destroys trust. It impacts the entire family. It wounds children. It changes nervous systems, and it spares nobody. And it's extremely painful.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't leave much room there. I mean, my answer is a hard, even heck no. Infidelity, there's nothing good about it. Nothing good about infidelity. When people say infidelity is the best thing that ever happened to our marriage, my response to that is it's absolutely not. Infidelity was not the best thing that happened to our marriage. Infidelity is not a good thing to happen to any marriage. It is one of the most destructive constructs available to destroy everything you love in this life. It should be avoided at all costs. It can be avoided at all costs. That's why we do this podcast. There's nothing good about it. So, in fact, let me go even further. We do believe that God is a redeemer, for sure. Anything is possible. The future is always in our control to write something new. And with infidelity, here's what I try to tell people. We're optimistic, hopeful people, but infidelity will leave you with a scar and it will leave you with a limp that you will never, ever, ever get rid of. That is the reality. You're never going to get through it the same. And the way people hold that is kind of determines the quality of the rest of your life, how you carry that scar, how you walk with that limp. That is up to you, but some people miss this. Like, well, God's forgiven us. We've forgiven each other. So let's move forward. Cool. Great. Big memo to the world, okay? God's grace does not absolve you from the consequences that you have earned. Doesn't work like that on earth. And the fact that you still have to face stuff, it's never a reminder that God can't redeem. It's simply a reminder that when you make destructive choices, I've made some in my time, we got to answer for those. You got to own those. Being a follower of Jesus does not change the fact that you got to own your consequences. And we decided a few years back that we were going to speak from our story, as we have, and we have never highlighted infidelity. You could see a misguided person or two think that's what we do. Not true. You know, they have never listened to a single episode. We've never pretended that this is something positive, ever, not once. If anything, we want to show people all the angles of a situation like ours, because people love a rise. America loves a rise. America loves a fall even more. And what only some are interested in, and we found this out to be true, is the chapter after either one. People don't like to stick around for the rest of the story. In fact, people will want to hold you to the part of the story that they choose. And then you come to find out, oh, you don't have the power to locate me in my own story. So some people want to look at me and Laura, and they'll be like, that's Carl and Laura. That's the couple that had a big platform. They had a big influence, and he made bad choices, and he cheated on his wife, and he lost his church, and he devastated his family, and Laura chose to stay with him. Cool. You can stay with your version of our story. Important to note, we are no longer there. We're not in that story. We're not in that chapter. That's a part of our story, but we get to keep writing it. That is my encouragement. And anybody out there who's ever felt that sting of what I just said, where you walk around and you think that people place you in a part of your story you no longer relate to, who cares? Let them do it. It's part of our story, but we're still writing it. And I feel the need to talk about some of this because it's true for everybody. You can get through anything in this life. And we've never been the people that are like, look at us now. Here we are. We're the people who are trying to be honest about the devastation of infidelity and what is possible beyond it. It's heavy, it's damaging, but my gosh, you get to make new choices. So in short, if this is all you hear on this podcast, when people say infidelity is the best thing that ever happened to me, we know what they mean, but that phrase is incorrect. Infidelity, it's horrible, it's destructive, it's avoidable. But what you can learn through horrific devastation is a ton. And that means you can move forward with some serious hope.
Yeah, and it's true. It seems like you hear many couples say we are so much better because of the infidelity that we walked through. And today we want to tell you the truth about that statement.
Lights On is proud to partner with God Behind Bars, one of the greatest organizations I've ever seen in my life. Talk about bringing light into dark places. If you are interested in being a part of any movement that really matters, please go check out God Behind Bars today online. Go check out all that they have. Jake and his team, they're changing lives every single day. I'm so proud that this podcast is attached to them. And if you're interested, how can I bring light to somebody today? Go check out God Behind Bars. You can write letters. You can volunteer. You can be a part of something that really changes lives for many. God Behind Bars. Check it out today. So as we've said, here's the easiest way to sum that part of it up. The wrong thing gets the headline when people say that. So in short, when people talk about the infidelity, is it the best thing ever? They're getting the headline wrong. They're giving infidelity the credit for honesty. That's what they mean. Infidelity is the best thing that ever happened to us. And what they're really trying to say is honesty is the best thing that ever happened to us. The affair was not the medicine, just what we needed. Nope. The affair was the diagnosis. The medicine was what happened afterward. It's like somebody confusing the earthquake with the rebuilding. The earthquake was not a gift. The rebuilding was. And that's marriage post-betrayal and loss. What actually changed our marriage wasn't betrayal. It's what betrayal forced us to finally do. And that is this, y'all. This is why we're having this discussion. Betrayal and infidelity can force you to live in radical honesty and radical ownership. And those two things can transform any marriage, any relationship at any freaking time. You can employ them at any time. Radical honesty, radical ownership. And what infidelity did do for us and for many other people, it forced us to stop pretending in any way. That is the only credit I will give infidelity. It will force you to stop pretending.
Yeah, we didn't wake up one morning and think, wow, I'm so grateful this happened. No, thank you. This was like I would not wish this type of pain on anybody. We did end up realizing we have absolutely nothing left to protect. No image to protect. Managing perceptions is impossible. So if we are ever going to speak again, try again, even think about what a future together looks like, we are going to do this honestly. And we finally started telling each other the whole truth all the time.
Yeah, really well said, love. I think, and we had no choice. That's what infidelity will do. I mean, we've got nothing left to lose. That's also why early on you always get those very odd trolls who will be like, yeah, well, if he didn't get caught, he would never be honest. And it's like, maybe, who freaking knows? Why does that even matter? We're honest now. Why is that your one takeaway when you see someone who does get honest? Why do you start talking about the conditions around it? What's the product? Honesty. So I think people don't even need to say that. I think that when people ask that question, like early on, we get some trolls who would say things like that. Like, well, you guys are only being honest because you got caught, or Carl's only being honest because he got caught. First of all, you can't prove that. Secondly, why does it matter? Who cares how you got honest? It's better to not get caught. But if you do, it's a myth, in fact, that if you get caught, you have to be honest, by the way. I don't know what bubble I'm bursting there, but that's the truth. Like, newsflash, a lot of guys get caught and they don't change a thing. They just learn how to lie better.
Right.
So I think it's a big deal just to point out, like, well, if we got caught doing something, if you got caught doing something like that, maybe I'd be honest. You don't have to get caught. But being honest is always a choice you can make every day.
I'm really glad you're speaking to this because you made choices to be honest when you actually did not have to. You instead chose to go to the hardest places, which then gave me an opportunity to really look at what we had. And no more second guessing myself, no more I wonder if you made a choice to get honest, and that gave me enough peace to take my time to see where honesty would lead me.
Really well said. And I think, go back, I'm gonna drive this home. You don't need infidelity to get radically honest. By the end of this conversation, I'm gonna prove that to you. But I wonder where you sit today, because people wonder even what that looks like. And it's really simple. I mean, the flow of a radically honest couple is very different than a marginally honest couple. And you can tell in the questions. You can tell what they sound like. So the questions from a radically honest couple, they flow with a freedom that guarded couples do not have. We've lived both sides, because if you're radically honest, you're asking stuff like, so how are you really? Do you even like us? Are you happy? What have you never told me? because you're trying to protect me or trying to protect yourself. Like that's the stuff that starts to come out when you make this choice to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's when something powerful happened to us.
Yes.
We realized by not being radically honest for all those years, we had robbed each other. And honesty became the greatest healing tool we'd ever experience and still experience right now. And it's something we will never shift away from.
And then there's a big truth sitting here that I want you to speak to, because it is a robbery to not be honest with each other. You don't realize that when you're in it. And every couple has had seasons of trying to figure out how to get honest. But when you talk about one of the big truths of this combo, what would you say? What would you say to couples?
Yeah, that's why we always tell couples, don't wait for catastrophe. Don't wait until everything explodes before you finally become honest. It does not have to work like that. I know you think that hiding your issues for long enough might change your issues, or if you got honest, it might impact your life and your career. We get all those real fears, and it's not worth robbing yourself. Anything you're not honest about is a vote towards hurting your marriage.
That's a great use of the vote. Like everything you do is a vote towards something. So when you wake up every day and you choose not to be honest, you're giving a vote towards divorce. You're giving a vote towards deep emotional separation. And you just got to own that, because infidelity, I mean, honestly, it's so bad, love, that infidelity carries such a stigma that many couples end up comparing themselves against it. They'll be like, our marriage isn't great, but at least nobody cheated. And I always want to say to people like that, okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. And like, what do you actually have? Because you might have resentment and distance and loneliness and no intimacy, no vulnerability, no friendship, years of pretending. Yeah, nobody cheated. Awesome. And nobody's really alive in their marriage, either. So it's like, well, I hate my life and I'm miserable and nobody knows the pain behind closed doors, but at least nobody cheated. It is a terrible metric. Like, it shouldn't have that much weight. It's as if we're saying you can have a terrible existence, but as long as nobody cheats. So cheating is terrible. Infidelity is the worst. And that can't be the thing that you measure how healthy your marriage is. There's so much more for that. So I think it's like, what if you made the choice to take your car in for a checkup before it's dead on the side of the road? It's like someone whose car is exploding. Like, well, at least it still runs. What if you got it checked out? So I think that is something we had to say today. Don't use the end of the line as the thing that's going to let you know we're not that bad. How do you feel? Who's alive? Who's honest? Who's flourishing? Who feels better? Who's growing? Honesty is always going to be the conduit for serious, amazing change. And we use one visual, love, talk about it, that really, for us, helps us marry our life to how to stay alive to a marriage that should be growing. But I like the way you put it.
I love the visual of an alarm clock. When
Same.
you run from the truth of what you have and keep doing nothing about it, it's like hitting the snooze button every morning.
And between the two of us,
that's you.
I'm the snooze guy.
I don't actually use an alarm because my body gets up by itself.
You don't have to do it judgy. Here's that thing. I see my snooze button as like a beautiful invitation to sleep longer. But judge me. Go ahead. Continue with your beautiful visual.
Yeah. But the alarm clock keeps going off,
Yes.
as we know, every 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yep.
And maybe it is resentment that you know you hold. You got to fix it. Get honest about it. But nope. Snooze button.
Yes.
Maybe it'll go away. Maybe it's distance. You are so distant from this person you love so much. You know it's painful. You want to say something, but if you do, what if? And then you hit the snooze button again.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody in
Secrets.
marriage.
Maybe it's secrets that the alarm's going off. Yeah.
Secrets. It's different for everybody in marriage. It can be secrets that you have held for so long that you thought getting far enough away from would somehow change the amount of pain. Instead, you find that it gets heavier as you go. Yeah, when your marriage reality is lovingly telling you, hey, something is wrong, or hey, we need to look at this right now, there is an opportunity for you to get clear. You have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your gut. You have to listen to it.
This episode of the Lights On podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. So for some people, summer is their favorite time of the year. We would probably agree. Vacations, longer days, family time. For other people, it can feel really overwhelming. And before you know it, you're counting down the days until life feels normal again. What we've learned is that thriving does not happen by accident. How are you doing? What do you need? What's helping you stay healthy, grounded, and connected during this season? And that's one of the reasons therapy can be so valuable. It can help you better understand your needs and feel more confident in setting boundaries and create a version of summer that actually feels good instead of simply trying to get through it. So BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. 30,000 therapists and more than 6 million people have been served globally. And they help match people with their therapists based on their needs and preferences. So if the fit isn't right, you can switch to a different therapist from any of their recommendations at any time. It's a beautiful option. So sign up today and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lightson. Yeah, and that's something you've shared with me is a big piece of gold that you took. Like your alarm clock went off a lot, and for whatever reason, some good, all understandable, you chose to kind of hit the snooze. For me, I heard the same alarm clocks, and my snooze was kind of like what I hear from a lot of men and women at the same time. Mine was like, maybe, not today though. Like I hear the alarm, Lord, I hear the alarm, but maybe not now, maybe not me. Let me see if I can figure this out and I'll get around to this, but not today. That's the death. Like, I'm not going to wake up now. I'm going to sleep a little longer. Then the pain compiles. Then systems start to break. And yep, at some point, for many, infidelity happens. And suddenly the alarm is not something you can ignore anymore. It's now become one of those Oklahoma tornado horrific purge sirens that is so deafening that everything around you, it's like being in Virginia Beach, Virginia, with the F-16s fly right over your coffee shop. And you're like, why is everything shaking? That's what happens when it's all about to burn down. And you could have known that plane was coming in the horizon. You could have moved before, but you didn't. And I think infidelity is just like that. God is so gracious where you have an alarm clock in your system. It is called discernment. Men, you have an alarm clock in your system. It's called the power of being led by something greater than yourself. I'm a Christian. Obviously, I'm a Jesus follower. I believe that the Holy Spirit drags us sometimes if we will allow that power to do that and do something better. But after a while, you keep resisting. Resisting is what you become familiar with. Back to the punchline here, infidelity is not the blessing. It is and can often be the loudest alarm clock a marriage has ever heard. The alarm wasn't the gift. Waking up was the gift. So we'll give you an invitation. And Laza, you do this better than anybody. I like the way you phrase it. When you've heard this so far, what have you heard in the 30 minutes we've been talking? That infidelity is not a gift. It can be an opportunity to change your life forever. There are things that you're going to see that you can choose to not hit the snooze on. You can wake up and what would you say, love? What's the invitation?
Well, here's where we want to encourage you.
Yes.
You don't need an alarm clock that's loud. You can become radically honest today.
Yeah, because the vibrant marriages that y'all see after infidelity, the TikToks of like the people who are like, he cheated, I stayed, we're on a water park adventure together, we're happy. It's not that they're not being honest. It's that maybe you don't understand the wording. Like those are real. Like when you see people that are like, we went through infidelity and we're happier than we've ever been, even if the words are not accurate or they're not exactly delivered correctly, they're not lying. It can really feel like that, but don't misunderstand why these relationships are beautiful. It's not because of the affair. It's because those couples finally stopped pretending. They've started to build their marriage on radical honesty, radical ownership, and a completely clean slate. And that will open your entire life up to a completely different marriage. So don't get that twisted. When you see it, don't write them off and be like, and don't be the couple that's like, maybe we should have an affair to really spice things up. The affair is not the idea. It's what it can produce after, which is a life of honesty, which you can do at the altar when you get married and keep the whole way through. You don't have to have a podcast on how to overcome infidelity. You don't have to have a story of how God redeemed the trauma that you put into your kid's system. That does not have to be your story. Your story can be, we made a decision while things were great to make it even greater by being even more honest. Now we're talking about something that's real, something that's vibrant.
Well, you've told me that before that there was also like a sense of relief when this happened, when it all came out, mixed in with the darkness. The despair and the remorse or the regret. There was almost a relief. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I mean, yes, I will. And before I even do that, I'll say, like, just imagine yourself stop pretending. You feel your shoulders go down a little bit. Like all the images that you are currently listening to this podcast holding, we all have them. Imagine if you didn't have to employ those anymore. That was in there. So when all this stuff happened to us, death, horrible, humiliation, rejection, embarrassment, damage, and this weird sense of relief that I had to get help to understand. And what I came to find out, I preached a message one time called "The Mask Has Got to Go." I remember preaching it like it was yesterday. And the through line of this sermon was, it is hard work being somebody that God never created you to be. It is the hardest work. It is the most taxing work. And that's the most insidious part of cheating and lying and covering it up, is you got to work 50 times harder to do mental gymnastics, to even look at yourself in the mirror. That is the tax of lying and cheating that I don't see talked about enough. Not only does it hurt everything around you, it destroys everything in you. The amount of energy managing lies, telling yourself stories that are not real. It's horrible for your soul. You're not designed to live with duplicity that destroys. That's not how God created us. So yes, for me, I'm able to now look back and say, yes, I was relieved in the best way that my days of living a life that did not align everywhere that it mattered was over. And that relief is not a minimization of the pain. No, you carry them both. But man, am I tired of putting this mask on. And I'm never putting that mask back on. And it's tempting to put it back on. You can still see it. Like, it was tempting even in our early days of rebuilding this to try to like not handle everything, to not confront everything and put the mask. But I'm like, I'm not doing that. I lived most of my adult life with a mask of some sort. And once you find out, hey, I might be uglier, but the wind feels better on my regular face, metaphorically. You don't want any parts of any life. And that's our gift. Like, we've been able to get so much space from that time in our life where wearing a mask was what I chose to do on really key, vital areas. So I think just needs to be said. When you realize, no way, I'm not living another day like that. And I'm going to say this. We have a phrase we use called active lies. We made a choice that we will have no active lies in our marriage. And it's good enough of a point for me to sit here for a second and look at you on our podcast where we give all the answers for everything that matters in life. That's a really easy, quick check to see where you're at as you're listening to this, especially if you are listening to this together as a couple. We love you. How many lies are still active in your relationship? Not are you still doing the thing, but how many lies are still active? How much of what your partner believes about you is actually true? Because that's the damage that men don't realize. They lied, they got away with it, and it was never confronted. And what they don't realize, you didn't get away with it, it's still active. So that lie will damage your soul for the rest of time unless you end it with truth. So just because you didn't get caught and you're like, well, my wife, we're doing good. I got a lot of stuff she doesn't know about. Yeah. You're building on a very faulty foundation, my friend, and it's something to consider. So, I mean, we could even say it's a warning. And Lozzie, what would you say to that? Like, if there's active lies and you haven't really confronted all this stuff and you got half mask, half off.
Well, I think this is a good time to throw out this warning. Yes. Before you ask for radical honesty, you need to know something. And that's the truth almost always hurts before it helps.
The truth almost always hurts. Before it helps. We know people who are like, tell me the truth. We do. And they're like, that hurts. Right. I'm done. No, you didn't get it. Yeah. Truth sometimes doesn't make you think or feel good. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to confront. So truth, I would say always, rarely does it feel good before it helps. Truth hurts sometimes.
Yeah. And if you ask for that honesty, be prepared to hear something that may be painful. That's part of the healing. And you can't be so scared of what you might hear that you settle for what might be true in your marriage?
Lawsy Bell, you're preaching. Don't settle for what
you might hear.
Oh, okay. I'm afraid of what I might hear. So therefore I'll
settle for what might be
what
true.
might be true in our marriage. It's really well said. And so people end up settling because they're afraid of what they might hear. So they just accept what might be okay for my marriage. What would that sound like in real time? So a wife has got these questions and she's so afraid of what might be. What does it sound like in real time?
Yeah. It would sound like, well, I would rather believe he's mostly honest, because it turns out, if it turns out he isn't, I can't handle that.
Right.
I can't deal with that. We could never make it. So let me keep pretending what I think is the truth, even though I have these huge doubts.
Yeah. It's like someone saying it may be cancer, but I definitely have a cold, and a cold makes more sense. So I'm not going to go see the doctor. There's no need. If it's true and you're right, like my marriage is great. Like I have cool. You should have no problem checking it out. If it is just a cold, why would it hurt you to go see a doctor and make sure that it's not cancer? So your lack of freedom or want to be put in the seat of high accountability probably tells you all you need to know right now. There is a reason that we avoid certain questions. And the truth you need, this is hard to hear for people, is probably right behind that thing that you are avoiding.
Yep.
So pick the thing you're avoiding. I'll show you how in a second, but that's the truth. Like there's a reason you don't want to ask these questions. So we use what is called a radical honesty inventory. Remember, infidelity is not great. Truth and honesty, supernatural. So one of the ways we get there, and this is a very entry-level version, but for those of you who are kicking around this idea of like maybe we should get even more honest. What would that be like? This is how it looks. So you can call this an inventory, and we say inventory because nobody likes a test. I'm going to give you an honesty test. No, an inventory. So this is very easy to understand. So an inventory is just a count. It's just a quick evidence check. Should be very easy. Nothing to fear. Like it's like if you say you have 10 pairs of shoes, let's just count them. No worries. We're just going to take inventory. So if even the thought of taking inventory of honesty in your marriage, then you don't have it. You don't have it. You know right away it's not there. So question one, if you're listening, you're like, all right, let me try some of this at date night. Be careful. Here's the question, radical honest question in marriage. Ready? What truth have I been protecting myself from because it's uncomfortable to admit? Notice what's not in play here. My spouse. It's me. Like what have I been protecting myself from? Because it's uncomfortable to admit. Lights On is proud to partner with Wonder Project. Wonder Project can be your new entertainment home on Prime Video. It's the first place to go when you want courageous stories that inspire hope and restore faith in things worth believing in. The stories we let into our homes, they matter. We know this. They shape how we see the world, which is why being intentional about what you watch it is so worth it. Finding entertainment that actually reflects your faith and your values used to feel like a step down, a compromise. Every time, but Wonder fixes that finally. Original series and films like The House of David, It's Not Like That, Sarah's Oil, plus curated titles added every single month, all in one place. So all my fellow parents out there, listen up. No more endless scrolling and debating about what to watch. Wonder makes it simple with content that is already safe and still incredible. So family show watching as a crew just got a little bit easier. To get started, it takes about 30 seconds. Open Prime Video, go to subscriptions, add Wonder Project, and you're done. No new app, no new login. Start your free trial today. So, Laura, let's go real time. If me and you would have done that 17 years ago,
I would have answered with, I have serious concerns about the patterns I see. And because the answers to that were uncomfortable, I would have talked myself out of that question.
Right.
Question.
So if we would have done this at dinner, year 8, and you would have said that out loud, what's the question that I am nervous about or uncomfortable about what the answers might be? You would have been like, I am very nervous about some of the patterns that I see in you. And instead of asking that, because you didn't want to deal with what the answers might be, you just kept on going, okay, let me think about some other things. So for me, I would have said, okay, what am I uncomfortable? I am very scared of patterns in my life, in private, that seem like they're going to get out of control. I don't understand them. They don't align with who I am, who I want to be, yet I am fighting day and night just to stay above water on these things. And that makes me uncomfortable. So if I ask myself that honestly, I would then have to go get help and be vulnerable,
Right.
which I did not want to do. So for both me and you, if we ask that honestly, that question, and answered that honestly, for sure, it would have been uncomfortable, but it would have been healing right then. But we snooze button that. You do not have to snooze button that question. So ask yourself that. What am I holding today? What am I like? I got to face this down. So I think that's a really, 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 really powerful one. You know, and it is uncomfortable to hear. But let me tell you this, y'all, because we love you so much. You know what else is uncomfortable? Losing almost everything you love, damage to your soul, public humiliation, the rupturing of relationships you love that will never be the same because of what you did, hurting your children. That's way more uncomfortable than asking yourself scary questions. So choose your uncomfortable. Oh, I don't want to get honest with the therapist. Good, buddy, good, because it's uncomfortable. Have fun at the uncomfortable meeting you're going to have with your kids someday because you don't handle these things that are right there to be handled. So choose your uncomfortable wisely. That would be my submission. Go to question number 2, because we're cooking on this. This is for all those couples out there who are like, we want to be radically honest. Prove it. Ask these questions. Tell us how it goes.
If my spouse could answer one question about me with complete honesty, and I couldn't interrupt, couldn't defend myself, what question would scare me the most?
Whew. Okay, for me, let's go back to year 8 of marriage because we're in year 23. Shout out to me for pulling through a lot of your crap. This is the question that I would be scared of. If I was presented with that, the question that would have killed me would have been, Carl, have you been unfaithful to me? That would have been terrifying. And the goal here today, y'all, is to find that question and immediately do something about why it terrifies you. Grab it today. Dig into it today until that question no longer scares you.
Well, I know the answer.
But know
Why?
this. It's going to become your future.
Yeah.
That thing that scares you will overtake you someday. So what question could Laura ask me today that would scare me? Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. Fire away. That's where you want to be. I've never been there until this chapter of life because it's like we're going to have dinner. Lord Jesus, I pray she doesn't ask these 4 things because I don't want to lie to this woman's face again. And that's a terrible way to live life, but a lot of people do. What about you? What would have been the question that would have, boom? Like, so the question that I would ask you that neither of us could defend or explain, but you had to answer honestly, what question would have broke you down?
The question that would have thrown me if I had to answer would have been, are you at peace?
So me saying to you,
Yeah.
Laura, are you at peace?
Yeah, because if I
broke you
had to
down.
be honest, I would have said, no, I'm not at peace. Our life is great in so many ways, and I'm not at peace. I don't fully trust you. Now, there is no question you can ask me that scares me in any way, and that's a gift.
That's big.
Because we just have that total honesty. There's nothing can scare me away from what answers you would have.
Because you trust that I can handle. So if I were to say, Lozzie, are you at peace today? That question is scary because you have the right to say the truth. So if it's a no, you can say it.
Right.
I guess, but before you're saying, if
I
I would have said that, you couldn't give me the truth because you were afraid of what would happen. And that led to probably prolong. That's not on you, but you've told me before, those are areas that even in post, you're like, I own that. Like, I'm the one who did the damage, but everybody has a role to play. And you've said to me before, my role was not answering the questions I should have answered to myself. Okay, here's a good one. Question 3. So number 1, you got. Number 2, you got. Here's the third banger. You're welcome. It's for free. Where am I settling for peacekeeping instead of truth-telling? Because these, ladies and gentlemen, are not the same thing. That's a pivotal one to ask yourself. So you look in the mirror and you say, where am I settling right now? Just keeping the peace rather than telling the truth.
I would say for me, and probably for a lot of women, if I had to answer that honestly, I would say everywhere. I'd rather settle for a fake version of peace than risk a giant fight.
Yeah.
And risk weeks of fighting or even more like disconnection. So that's more pain. So I'm not answering that question.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Honestly.
now the difference would be.
Now I reject keeping the peace.
Yes, you do at all times. You're like a freaking, yes.
It's hard for me, but I now have taught myself whatever I am trying to keep the peace about means I don't have peace in the first place. Wow. So keeping the peace is not a real thing in marriage.
It's not, no.
Marriage is about making
peace. Good.
It's fighting for peace, demanding peace.
Yeah.
Keeping it, no thanks, it doesn't work.
Hey, and you're preaching from experience. I think we both, you're more of a peacekeeper than me.
That's
and we
true.
both now share the beautiful honor of making peace with each other.
Yeah.
You can't keep peace. You can only make it and invest in it and grow it further. And that's just a really beautiful starting place of what it would feel like to be honest. Can you imagine sitting across from the person that you love saying, where are you keeping the peace instead of telling me the truth? Does that freak you out? Because that's a beautiful place. It's not everything, but it's definitely something. It's a real easy way to start getting into what honest questions are going to look like. And that leads us to what is so prevalent right now in our culture. And stay tuned here, guys, because I call it simply the image trap. The image trap is what probably destroys as many marriages as anything else. And it's one of the saddest things, especially in ministry. Let me holler at all my friends, sisters, brothers that are in ministry or young people. If you're listening and you have aspirations to be in ministry, watch your back because it happens all the time. Image. So you've got something that happens. You have a chance to get healing. Image. And I'll give you, see my air quotes, this is a hypothetical. Okay, this is what it sounds like. Let's just say a husband gets caught, I don't know, DMing women. That alone might be a problem, but we won't digress. Let's just say he goes a little further. He's a pastor. He's a preacher. He's DMing women all the time. He goes even further. He has DM'd a woman, and she's on the way to the hotel. Remember, this is a hypothetical. It's not from a pastor. This is just what could happen. And the woman is coming to the hotel, and then he's actively planning on meeting with this woman in the room, but got it all lined up, but the wife finds out. Okay, she finds out. Somehow she gets a hold of that phone. She catches it before it goes further, and the wife, she finds the DMs. She rightfully loses her mind. She challenges the man, the preacher, the guy. She's devastated. He's so sorry. After all, it's just a DM, but he's so sorry. And nobody gets help. Why? What would people think?
Right.
What might people say? We have so much to lose. It's not like I cheated. I might not have went all the way down the line, but I was absolutely going to. And by the grace of God,
he's not saying this.
I know you got me here, but he's now saying, hey, but it's not like I cheated. Okay,
Right.
Let's not make this a big thing. I mean, a lot of guys do stuff like this. It's just, I mean, she was just at my doorstep. She was just in my bed. I didn't talk to her. I mean, I've got 97 conversations here with 50 different women, but it's not as bad as you think. Plus, I've got a church to lead. I've got some stuff I got to do. And if you tell somebody. If you tell anybody, it could be the end of all we have. You don't like this house? You don't like this car? You don't like this platform that we have? We'll get through this together. I got this. I'm going to go get accountable. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get accountable. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, so I'm going to do. I'm going to seek God. I'm going to go to the mountaintop, and I'm going to get myself right. You, woman who's betrayed, woman who has to live with all this, you shut your mouth. Because this is about us.
Yeah, and I will say the biggest loser in this is the wife.
So they keep the image and they lose the marriage.
Yep.
Cool. They keep the reputation, but they lose the peace. And say again what you were going to say. Who's the biggest loser in the scenario, Lousy Bell?
Well, the biggest loser is the wife. She has
Always.
to carry all the betrayal, all the pain, and all the uncertainty, has no support or help because she can't tell anyone. And, tries to change, tries to get over it, and now has to gaslight herself.
Every day.
That it wasn't that bad. My husband didn't cheat. Like, he didn't physically do anything
Right.
sexual.
Totally. It was
But
just emotional.
DMing,
Just emotional.
Yeah,
Right.
not a big deal. She has to gaslight herself and say things like, it wasn't that bad. My husband did not cheat on me. No, he didn't. He's not like your husband. It was just that it was emotional. All these women were after him, not the other way around.
Oh, got it.
We hear these stories daily.
Yes. Yeah, in reality.
And in reality, that is the sound of a marriage that is dying a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Who are you trying to impress? That is the sound of a marriage that is dying a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
So the question now becomes, who are you trying to impress? And why are they more important than your peace and your joy? Those are the questions that have to start getting asked.
Yeah. And the older you get in general, I think the more you realize any sort of relationship or life that is built on portraying any image, it's not worth your time. Like, so when you talk to couples who clearly want to hide things, they're deathly afraid of anybody knowing they've went through anything or going through anything. It's like we mentioned to them, hey, by the way, people probably kind of already know. And why not just be honest? Like, why do you care that they think about you? Why do you care so much what they think about anyway? This episode of Lights On is sponsored by Policy Genius, and there's something about this time of year with summer coming right around the corner, being around family, thinking about fun. It just reminds you what actually matters in this life, and with that does come responsibility. Taking care of your people, taking care of your kids, even your parents at times, thinking ahead, making sure things are in place. And that's why I do love what Policy Genius does. It makes getting life insurance feel straightforward instead of something you just keep putting off. Policy Genius is an online insurance marketplace that lets you compare quotes from top companies side by side for free. Their licensed team will help you find what fits you, coverage, pricing, all of it without the guesswork. This does not have to be an overwhelming thing, and that's why Policy Genius is so helpful. With them, you can see if you can find 20-year life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for over $1 million in coverage. So head to policygenius.com to compare life insurance quotes from the top companies and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com. It's a great time to take responsibility for the people you love the most. Check it out today. If you're not careful, the image trap is after everybody, and it damages so much it doesn't even have to. That's the thing. It speaks to image control. What if they find out we're struggling? What if they find out we're going through something, they don't like us, and they don't invite us over for Scrabble again? Well, firstly, they don't really know the real you anyway. They're not inviting the real version of you for Scrabble anyway. If you live honestly, they'll probably like you even more. And if they don't, you're not really for those people anyway. Take your chances. So I think image trap. What are y'all going to do about it? Got to fight it. What do you think, love?
We all deal with it, and we can all unsubscribe from it as well.
Yeah, like a button.
Whether you're a pastor's wife or a corporate executive, a mum who raises kids at home, fight for the most honest you. It's freeing. It leads you to other people who want to live that way as well. You are worth a life you absolutely love. Do not forget that.
Yeah, and I would say this as we land this plane. Before you want honesty above all else in your marriage, make sure that's true, because it's simply not often always true. Often people, they want reputation, they want image, and they want to be seen as more than they want real honesty. And what you find out, image is wildly expensive. It'll cost you your life. And honesty is worth a lot more. So to be clear from us to you, don't sacrifice your healing to protect your image. If your image is attached to preserving dishonesty, you don't have an image anyway. You have a charade for a life. You have a delusion. You cannot save your face and save your soul at the same time. There's a different word that people, I use face. They say you can't save your butt and save your life. They use a different word. And the point of that is you got to choose. So for me, that was, I can't defend all these false stories about me and try to tell people all this is true, but this isn't, and work on my life and my marriage at the same time. To get my life back, it's going to cost me my face. It's going to cost me my image. What do I want more? By the grace of God, we've been able to stare that down and say, I don't give two craps what you think about me. I don't care how you judge me. I don't care what you write. I don't care what you comment. I'm about this work. My marriage, my wife, my life. Judge it, love it, leave it, join it, don't care. Say what you want. You can't have your image and have your soul fulfilled at the same time if it's broken. Eventually, your face will match your life. You're good to go. Just takes a lot of work to get there as a human being. So that is the takeaway as we land this question. Ask yourself, this couple, if you guys are listening together, What if your marriage did not need a catastrophe for you to become radically honest? What if today was enough? And if you want some homework, here's what I'd ask you to do if you're listening on behalf of Laura Lentz. Do this. Schedule one conversation, sit down together, no phones, no distractions, and ask yourself the questions that we just laid out for you. They're radically honest. Don't defend them. Don't interrupt. Don't explain. Just listen. And you might discover that what you've been waiting for, it's not another book, although ours is coming out in October. It's not another podcast. Ours is great. Not another crisis. It's really just one radically honest conversation, and that becomes a catalyst for a radically different life. If you hear one thing we say, hear that. Infidelity is never a gift, but every single crisis presents an opportunity. And the opportunity is not the betrayal. The opportunity is what you decide to do next. So if you are listening, hear me, okay? This is an important episode today. Don't wait. Don't wait for your marriage to hit rock bottom. Don't wait until a catastrophic event exposes what you've known to be true. Oh my God. What you've known to be true for so long, because the opposite of infidelity is not simply faithfulness. It's a marriage where two people finally stop pretending and they start telling each other the truth. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where freedom lives. Yes, we love each other. Yes, we now have a marriage, Laura and I, that we truly love. And we took a very, very painful route to get there. You do not have to do that. And if you are like us and you've had to walk through some painful roads, hey, you can grow through that pain that feels like it's going to kill you, and you're going to find grace and peace on the other side of it. So keep fighting. This has been a lot, and it's worth it. You don't need something catastrophic to compel you to do something different with your marriage. Laura Lentz, I love you. You crush this. You bring the goods every time. Talk about how great I am for the last 15, 20 minutes. We love you. Hey, listen, contact us, email us, write us. Next week, we're going to talk about ownership, what that looks like. Honesty and ownership together. You really can't lose. It's impossible. I'm going to tell you the secret next week. It's fun. We love you. Shout out to all of you. Stay strong. Marriage is long. Life is short. Make sure it's good. Anything you want to say on the way out, love?
No, I'm done.
You're done?
My words are done.
You used a lot of them. We're out. We love y'all. Deuces.